I guess we're live. It says no, it says connecting.
Yeah.
Any day now. There we go.
Okay.
We are here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Mm-mm.
There we go.
And Alicia,
Welcome,
somebody else.
welcome.
Nicole, Leah, Gilly, Dalen, Andrew, ooh, Anna, John, Tanara, Kimya.
Hola.
Oh God. Oh God. So many. Okay.
Welcome, everyone.
Welcome. Valerie, Josette. Oh man. Biba. I hope I'm saying this right. Okay. Cheryl. Okay. How are you guys doing? Oh, it's beautiful Tuesday evening. It is Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday. Yes. I don't know. It feels like Friday, like the end of the week. Like it's been a long week and it's only Tuesday.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Also, this is just a big week for New York because y'all had the New York City Marathon and now it's like election day for like Mom Donnie. And we're doing good tonight. I thank you for asking. We appreciate it. Where are you checking
Happy
in
to be
from?
here.
Yeah. And Alicia, hey girl, where are you checking in from? But yeah, New York had a big week. Y'all got a lot going on, for real.
Man, every week is a big week out here, but yeah, it's a little hectic this weekend.
Yeah. Louisville. Okay. That's what's up. It is 1 a.m. in the wow. Thank you for hanging out. That is late. Oh man.
We're
Russell.
international. We are international now.
Oh, Russell, Lauren, Shamiko. Hey girl. Hopefully you can see the comments and see us and see everything today. Hopefully we don't have no problems. Oh man. Yeah. Well, it's 8:06. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Hey Lauren. Um, you are probably noticing that there is one of us missing. Michelle Jackson of Creators Getting Paid could not join us tonight. But if you want to check out her publication, it's here on Substack. The screen is black again. I don't know, friend. I don't know what's going on.
Miko, you might have to
Oh,
reinstall your app.
probably, yeah. Sorry, Substack is a little temperamental. Um, but yeah, Michelle couldn't be with us, but we're still hanging out tonight. We and Koi are ironically going to the same event later this week. We're going to Resonate Podcast Festival in Richmond, Virginia. We're excited to be there. We're hoping some of you will come hang out with us. But in case you're not, you can check out our publications and we'll share a little bit about those now. My name is Angela Hollowell. I write Please Hustle Responsibly. And oh, she fixed it. Great. Um, I write Please Hustle Responsibly, which is a newsletter community for creators and entrepreneurs who want to learn, connect, and grow. We have some marketers who also hang out with us. So if that's something you're interested in, please check that out here. We just hit 1,700 today, 1,700 subscribers. So we're super excited about that. And we'd love to have you be a part of it. We're on our way to 2,000, and we're super excited for each and every one of you to join us. Corey, what about you?
Good evening, everyone, or good mornings for some of you guys. My name is Corey Gums. I am the founder of the Black Podcasters Association, and I run the newsletter Black Pod News right here on Substack. And it's, I keep my intro short and sweet.
It's
Otherwise,
okay.
it'll take up the whole day if I just went down my list, right?
And you know what? That's okay because we're going to celebrate every single one of those titles that you hold, one of which is he is on the board for Air Media, which will also be in attendance at Resonate Podcast Festival. So stop.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're going to have a table or a booth or something. So stop by, check them out, see what they have going on. One of my favorite things about Air is they talk about like rates for different roles in the audio and podcast space. So it's a good idea to kind of get a temperature check on what different roles pay within podcasting. If you're freelancing or if you're looking for a salary position, like what would you want to make? So I just thought I would put that out there.
Yeah, I said, and that's open to everybody, so it's right on the website. And
Yeah.
one of the perks of being an Air member is also they have contracts that you can use. So with the rate guide and then the contracts, you kind of have your business kind of mapped out a little bit outside of everything else.
Yeah.
But the main components, what to get paid and to make sure you get paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
And I guess I just point that out today because, like, there's another round of sweeping layoffs at Teen Vogue, and it just feels like
yeah.
they're being folded under the main Vogue magazine. So, um, a lot of interesting movements in journalism and audio journalism. So, really hoping people land on their feet and just trying to connect people to resources to have pathways for them to learn about freelancing and that sort of thing. So, we
Can I
talk
plug
about
something
music.
real quick? Since you
Yeah,
talked about
you do.
layoffs, so one of the sections about my newsletter is Hire Me, where we freelancers or people looking to expose, take on new clients can submit, and we publish it every Tuesday. Walt and I decided this weekend we're going to be doing an actual show about uh, a live stream right here on Substack about the creator space and jobs. So it's going to be called what did I say? What did he say it was going to be called? Surviving the. You know what? It's going to come out. We're going to make an announcement. Look, it's been a long week. It's only Tuesday. It's been a long week for me. I'll probably remember it like 3 o'clock in the morning, the name of the title, but we're gonna be doing a live show on here. So we're gonna be discussing like layoffs and stuff that are happening, and bringing on guests and stuff to talk about. Yeah, Lauren, yeah. That's look, I'm transparent. I care for it, but we're gonna be doing that. So that's gonna be coming out sometime this month. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the exclusive. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
hear. That's
only right
awesome.
here.
That's so funny. But no, it's good. Walt has been in his like collaboration bag a lot recently, for sure. So
Yeah.
it's been good. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so we wanted to talk a little bit about how we think about producing content at events. Events can be very expensive to attend, especially if you're traveling. Both Corey and neither one of us live in Richmond, so we're making plans to travel down to Richmond, paying for hotel stay, paying for food, all those types of things. And producing content at events is one way to get a return on that investment. Especially when you're in a space where you're at an industry event and you're at an environment of your peers from around the country and potentially around the world. How do we show some of the benefits of being in those spaces and some of the ways that we receive a return on the investment of investing in the time spent and the travel that it takes to be a part of events like that? Michelle sent us a little something. I know that Michelle is one of those people, like when I spoke at Podcast Movement Evolutions in Chicago, she'd make sure to get photos and videos of me speaking, and that was really helpful and really appreciated. And there are times when I go to events where I don't know anyone, and sometimes I just kind of have to say, "Hey, do you mind taking a photo of me while I'm speaking? I just want proof that I was here." Um, I think, especially when you're not getting paid to speak, which many conferences do not always get paid to speak. Um, it's really important to get evidence that you were there. I think that you can leverage for future speaking engagements if that's something that you want to do. I also think that if you're gonna put in the time to create, be a part of a panel, create an individual speech, create a freebie, create all the things that are necessary to make that a great session and space for people who are attending, then yeah, you kind of want evidence that here are the people that are positively impacted by my presence at this event. I am not personally speaking at Resonate. Maybe we'll put it out into the ether that Shioki will ask me to speak next year. I don't know. Corey, I don't know if Corey is speaking. He might have something up his sleeve to be on a panel. But um, I think, especially when you're not speaking, it's even more important to produce content at an event and like have something that you're walking away with at an event. But I want to stop speaking because I feel like Corey has some interesting things up his sleeve for Resonate that I want to hear about.
Me?
Yes.
I don't have anything. I think one reason I like this conversation is because I struggle with this.
Mhm.
what's the saying? If you don't got a video or picture, it didn't happen. So that's kind of like my resume right now. I have my resume, but most people could be like, it didn't happen because I don't have any real footage outside of if the event was recording or they had a photographer on scene.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty like last week I was explaining. I'm pretty like horse blinders on when I'm doing stuff. So I don't even think about stopping to turn on the phone and press record or ask somebody to take pictures and stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I like think I just leave it to the ethers and be like, oh, there's somebody I know here is taking pictures. I'll just get it from them. And if, of course I forget. One of the but like listening to you and Michelle talk about it, I was like, I gotta start making more of an effort of asking people. And I liked so Michelle sent us a voice message before we came on about like her position. One of the things I like that she said on there, she has a list. She actually
Mhm.
makes a list. And I think I need to start really incorporating some kind of checklist or some kind of step by step for my own reminders to do to record footage and stuff. Now the crazy part is I'll do it for other people.
Yeah.
I'll turn on my phone, take video, take pictures, and I'll send it to them. But when it comes to myself, I don't even think about it. So I'm gonna try to make a conscious effort at Resonate this week to do it. Only because I'm not speaking, but I'm gonna try to definitely get me some pictures and we have an event that we're doing on Friday, a meetup at Resonate, and I'm definitely going to be very active with doing footage and getting pictures as much as possible for that event.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes, especially like somebody like my position where a lot of times I'm networking or people want to meet with me or depending on the conference I might be supporting people and helping with stuff. It's kind of hard to remember to stop and say, all right, I need to make content. So my like so you know I think I do need to make a better effort though, but I don't have anything special planned.
Okay. Yeah, for this one, for Resonate in the past, I've typically done like a blog recap and just gotten some photos on my camera. Did those photos include me? Also, no, because I'm not a vlogger. I'm not someone that's like, oh, let me take a selfie with every. That's weird. That in some ways I don't feel like a millennial, like whatever. Um, just it feels very strange to do that. But for this one, I am gonna try a specific video format. I have not done video in the past. And I'm gonna try to do a recap video of the event because I will also be at that event with Corey. So if you're there, hang out with us, come say hello. We want to meet you. Um,
We're gonna have somebody
remind me
take a
because
picture. We're gonna have somebody take a picture with me taking a picture of you, you taking a picture of me, and we're doing the Spider-Man meme.
yeah. And then Michelle's gonna text and be like, take a picture together. And I'm like, all right, cool, we got it. So yeah, so try to get some content there, I guess if that's what you want to call it. But I also want to do kind of a series that's like 10 podcasters on podcasting. So like that's even a new thing, like planning a YouTube video concept before I even like go to an event instead of just like getting footage and like hoping to get something usable. It's like, okay, how can I be a little more strategic about this as well? Because I've also just noticed in my YouTube journey, like I want to capture more of like my experience as a creator and like growing a creative business. Like those are the type of channels that I'm most attracted to, not like the person who's posting tutorials on how to edit something. I don't care about that. Like I care for like 2 seconds if I'm trying to learn something specific. But after that, like I'm not gonna keep going to watch someone like teach me something. I'm watching because I wanna, like I care about their experience growing something and trying new things and doing creative experiments that may not always be, like, the most search-friendly things, but they're the most interesting things from, like, a career development standpoint. And I think, like, for me, it's like, "Okay, how do I capture my experience growing this business, but also do it in a way that's, like, packaged for YouTube, like, friendly, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we
Mhm.
meet both of those things? Hey, Michael. Um, so that's kind of the focus. So that'll be a new thing. We'll see if I pull it off, okay? Don't judge
You'll
me
do
if
it.
I don't.
You'll pull it off.
But, but that's the goal. So, yeah.
So you're trying to build content for your YouTube. That's the goal this week.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna have mine. photography camera there, so I'll probably still take photos, but it's gonna be doing some interview type stuff as well while I'm there. But like short interviews that I need to prep for actually after this, but
Mhm.
we'll get there when we get there. Um, and yeah, so that's the prep. But I mean, like, I've also seen some variations on blog recaps. Like, I think my event recaps do really well on the newsletter. I've had one from Colin and Samir where instead of just writing out a really long article, they put it in a PDF, and they got a sponsor for that PDF download, um, which was interesting. So it's like I may try a couple different things for that. Um, I don't know. We'll see how the
That's
recap comes. Yeah.
that's such a simple and dope idea, and so I kick myself all the time. Like, why did I think of that? Like,
Right?
put it into a PDF, and then have a sponsor for that PDF.
Yeah.
You know, so you can basically your NASCAR and everything at this point.
Yeah.
But you mentioned you bringing your gear, and I think that's one reason why I don't do content because sometimes I find myself thinking I'd have to bring like my camera, my my Ninja V. Then I gotta have my SSD. Then I gotta make sure the mics, everything's set up, and I'm just like, this is just too much just to get some footage.
Yeah.
But and I know a lot of people be like, well, you have your phone. Yeah, that's cool, but sometimes you want to be able to get
Yeah.
the full scope. You don't want to just have your frame and what your phone gives, but um, I definitely want to make bigger effort. I like the idea of like the YouTube thing. I didn't think about doing that too. I might I might kind of think of something too. I might actually because I'm gonna be there like with Air, for representing Air as well. So I might talk to some people at Air and see like maybe we could come up with something, some collaborative content creation, like what you said, like a little quick thing, and then come up with some footage maybe to promote Air as well.
Yeah.
So
I think
see,
for me, for a couple so there's also some new things I'm gonna be trying. So I actually brought like this $18 magnetic chain for my GoPro because again, I'm not a vlogger. Like the likelihood of me taking my phone and being like, "Hey guys, what's up? I'm at rest."
mm,
Like I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. But like I feel like there's some setups where it's like if I just put it on my chest and just press record, then it's getting that like first person perspective of me talking with
now
people.
you're walking around like the police.
Listen, relax, okay? And it's not gonna be hidden, it's gonna be a GoPro, it's gonna be very visible, so people are gonna know that it's there. But it's also like, you'll get what see what I see behind the camera, like, how am I recording this? How does this work? How does this look? Um, so yeah, so that's what my plan is, just to do a lot with the GoPro and just have that be kind of like the behind the scenes camera for a lot of it.
Mhm.
Um And so it doesn't feel like I'm super official with my big camera out all the time, but also like I can get video on the GoPro while I'm getting photos on my DSLR. So it's a dual purpose there. We're gonna see how that goes. This is like not a new camera that I invested in. This GoPro Hero 8 was given to me by a friend, so I got it for free and I've had it for years. So it ain't a new camera. Like you don't have to get the newest, latest, and greatest, whatever. Just
Look,
get
but it
what
shoots
works.
it shoots in 1080p and 4K, so you good.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, if this works well and I really like it, then yeah, maybe I'll upgrade to a GoPro that has either 5K or I think GoPro only goes up to 5K or, like, Insta whatever that goes up to 8K if that's what I feel like is needed to give me better quality for punching in and doing different things, but for now, it's just like, let's just see how it goes. Let's just see how I like it. Let's see how the footage comes out. Let's see how easy it is for me to get. Let's see how comfortable it is for me to wear something like that for a couple hours a day. That sort of thing. So we'll see, but that's the goal for now.
All right, I'm just gonna remind myself when I see you walking around to stay out of your shots.
Whatever,
So
like
you're gonna have since you're gonna have the camera on all at all times.
whatever. It might not be recording at all times. It'll just physically be on me
Because
at all times.
something inappropriate is gonna come out of my mouth at some point.
That's okay. We can bleep it out. It's fine. It'll be cool. It'll be cool. Oh yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about using the footage and stuff for like speak like to become like I guess if you want to put it like in your media kit. How does that work? Like, what would be some recommendations? Because I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I've had other people that speak ask me to come and do, like, media for them, so they have it, but some people do speaker reels, like, if they know they wanna do more speaking, they'll put together a speaker reel, and it's just, shots of them speaking on stage that they've clipped together and cut together. Um, I think that's a good idea, generally speaking. If you wanna have like, if you're one of those people where, like, you're nervous about being in front of the camera for photos, it's like, okay, well, if you're gonna people are gonna see you anyway. People are gonna be in the crowd anyway. Getting photos of you while you're speaking, most likely you're gonna be dressed nicely, gonna be looking cute. You're gonna be able to get a couple of decent candids. That's probably a good time to get updated professional photos of you too. But then in some stuff, it's just like some stuff is just good for social media, just to have the clips that you can, like, cut up from your talk or from the Q&A portion of your talk, for social media. I think that's really good. So, I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about it, um, and I think people care drastically less about the quality of the video than they care about the quality of the audio, which is, like, your bread and butter anyway, so not a big deal.
Yeah, that audio. You gotta make sure your audio is at least decent because it's a painful experience if it is not.
Yeah.
And you want people to hear you, right? You want to be able to you want them to be able to hear what you're saying or whatever point you're trying to make. So
Yeah.
does that
I
mean
have
you
a
should
lot more
invest in
audio
them?
gear than I thought, but we'll see how
I'm
it goes.
surprised about that. You say you have more audio gear.
Like, bringing more audio
Oh,
gear.
okay.
So, yeah, I mean, like, for me, so I went to the soccer game on Sunday here in North Carolina, and I wanted to do, like, an overheard series, so I brought specific audio for that, like, some wireless mics for that, and those just go into, like, my DSLR. Then I have a cinema camera that I have, like, some XLR mics for. I have a wireless XLR mic for that, and then, like, a shotgun mic for that. And then, for, like, the interview style stuff that I might be doing at Resonate, I got the Rode Interview Pro. So I have, like, 3 different audio systems that I'm gonna have here. So we'll see what ends up, and I have just, like, a body pack that's just separate that I can record without it needing to be linked wirelessly to a camera. So if I just want a backup of my voice, I'll have that. So I have, like, I guess 4 different
Now, everybody
things.
watching and listening, you don't have to get all that stuff because I'm sitting here
No, you
like,
do
damn.
not need this. This is way too much. I should probably have a lot more, but, like, again, there's stuff that's, like, for filmmaking, there's stuff that's good for podcasts, like,
Yeah.
don't be like me. Honestly, I could probably do all of this with just, like, the one wireless mic set I have, but I'm ridiculous, so don't listen to my advice.
So we're talking, just for everybody joining us, we're talking about taking using the opportunity to create content while you're at an event, whether it's a conference or like even a meetup, right? Like even if you do something
Yeah.
simple as a meetup, it's always good to capture footage. And if you're in a situation where you can't, uh, I guess we all highly recommend you find somebody or you ask somebody to help take some pictures and take some video for you, so that you can at least have that for your socials or whatever you want to do. Um, what did you think of some? I know for me, the biggest challenge is remembering to do it. And like I said earlier, I would probably do a list. But knowing me and lists, I got to remember to take. I got to remember to check the list. So like, what do you?
Lord have mercy.
Huh?
I said, "Lord have mercy." That's good.
Look, man, like I have an answer for that now. Like I know why it happens. But
Yeah.
what is some like besides something like that? What are some other challenges you think people or I would love for people in the conversation to tell us what challenges they may have when it comes to trying to record content where they're when they go to events. But what do you think of some challenges that people may face, and what are some solutions we could probably help them come up with while we're
I can
talking?
share some of my own challenges. One of them is that, I always feel nervous at events, like, no matter how much I prep, I always feel nervous.
Yeah,
Um, and, like, it's can be nerve-wracking to be on camera. I think sometimes if you're trying to do, like, too much, you can just, like, lead yourself to being too scatterbrained and too, like, all over the place and not really able to enjoy the event, so that's always an issue, like, I always wanna be able to enjoy an event and not feel like I'm forcing content to happen instead of just, like, organic, networking, conversation, whatever. And I think part of it, like for me, it's like, okay, I know I'm not gonna be trying to get interviews the entire time. Like, some of it is, like, designate certain times of the event, maybe where there's downtime or, like, there's lunchtime in between talks where you can be like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to use this time to talk to people." Like, I'm not gonna try to distract people from, like, enjoying the event, getting their value out of going to different sessions and stuff. Like, that's also a bigger ask. Like, "Hey, can you not go to this really important session that you wanted to go to so you could talk to me for 10 minutes?" Like, that's a lot to ask people. So, like, trying to, like, think about when the downtimes are at different events and trying to, like, maybe say, "Okay, during these 1 or 2 downtimes, I'm gonna try to get specific content," especially if it involves other people. Um, I think another thing, again, like I said, showing up on camera, sometimes I get really nervous. Like, when I was at Podcast Movement Evolutions in Chicago, I was one of the first speakers on the first day. That to me was really
Nice.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that
It
will be.
I mean, like, good for programming, yes, because majority of people are gonna be there, but, like, also nerve-wracking because 'cause I'm like, "Shit, everybody's gonna be here." Like, like, what am I don't know if I wanna be first. Um, so, yeah, so it could be nerve-wracking, but, like, Michelle was there and, like, other people were there. Um, "Hi, Jay, how are you?"
What's up, Jay?
Um, and so I'm just like, "Okay, like, how can I decrease my anxiety around this?" I also did something special. I printed out, like, a pamphlet/poster situation for the event, and I gave those out to people. I was nervous about how that was gonna be received, but, like, some of it's, like, I planned it into my talk, so it was just like, "I'm gonna be here anyway, I have to do this." And that was helpful for me to, like, say hello to everybody in the crowd before I got going, so it just, like, lowered my anxiety a little bit, and, that was helpful. So, like, think about everybody has their thing that helps them lower their anxiety if they're in a crowd of people, especially if you're an introvert like me, so try to find whatever that thing is, and then, like, lower the barrier to entry for creating stuff.
Yeah, I'm traumatized by being the first on something. Years ago, I went ice skating with a friend, and I was the first person on the ice on the rink, and of course, I fell in front of hundreds of people and bust my ass. So, so ever since then, it's like going first. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think about the idea? Because when you were talking, and and you were talking about being nervous about being on camera, it gave me an idea that sometimes I tend to forget about, which is what if you just did only like audio? If you're interviewing people, what if it's just only audio only? Would that also be good content to capture, even though it's not a visual, like especially with social media, like that would be more difficult, right? To
I think
use?
for me, like, I'm a filmmaker first, so for me, it feels natural, but I think there's a lot of I mean, we're going to a podcast festival. There are some audio creators who only do audio-only podcast. So I think for them, that makes a lot of sense. Like, even if you're doing an audio newsletter, for example, to have audio on like, that works, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
different ways you can do it. Or you have an RSS feed already doing an audio recap and interviewing people audio only, that makes sense. Like, that's on brand for you, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's different ways. Definitely think that's one way to do it, for sure.
I think I'm gonna try that one.
There you go.
I think I'm gonna try that. Now I gotta go set up. I'm trying to pack my bags for the weekend. Now I gotta go through my gear and download and clear out the mics, the road mics. Now, but I think I'm gonna try that. Do some interviews.
Try that. Yeah,
Yeah. You know, sidebar real quick. You mentioned audio newsletters, and that's something that like a lot of people, don't know about. But I think it's
yeah,
something that when you're thinking about creating content at events, you should be thinking about like how you can do something differently. Like I know Substack gives us an option to be able to use audio components in our newsletters and stuff. So if you're ever in
yeah,
a situation where like but the only problem I have with like doing audio like at events is the noise level, right? If you might
yeah,
have to take that into consideration because there's been times when I've recorded audio at events, and it was just no matter how much you try to put the mic as close to somebody or use the right mic, sometimes the background noise is just real crazy. And
yeah. But I
I'm
think
not a
there's a
big fan
certain
of using
level.
AI to clean it up all the time because that introduces other stuff into it.
Yeah, I wanna answer Dee Dee's question, but I
Oh
wanna
yeah,
respond to it.
shout out
I
to
think,
you.
like, if you're
What's up,
doing
Didi?
like a recap of, like, an event, people are gonna know that other people are there. So I think there's a certain level of forgivability if at least the people speaking are clear enough, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then the background noise isn't too distracting. I recorded a full episode with Dane. the very first year of Resonate, actually. And I just spoke to the museum and I said, "Hey, I'm trying to find a quiet space to record something." And they let us up in their offices. So we had a private space to sit that was separate from other sessions in other areas. So sometimes you can just ask a venue, be like, "Hey, I'm trying to find a quiet space to record a few things. Can you make some recommendations?" And sometimes they can. Or the event organizers, especially at audio events, like they know that's a consideration. They know that audio creators are gonna be there. Um, you would think. Let me just take that back, actually. Not all audio podcast events have that, but some
Right.
of them some of them do, and they do take that into consideration, but sometimes it's just a question of, like, asking people. And especially if you're doing audio only, it doesn't matter what the place looks like. It could be like a freaking janitor's closet, but that's quiet and that works. It doesn't matter as long as the audio sounds good. So, just putting that out there.
All right. So
Did you ask, how do you guys decide which festivals are in your best interest? That's a good question. Corey, do you wanna start?
yeah, how much a ticket costs? um, I'm gonna do the black thing. Who all gonna be there? Like who
Yeah.
gonna be there? How do I decide? Uh, that's a good one. For me, because of what I'm doing with the BPA and then also doing with air, it's kind of what's the official, like how do I go in an official capacity? Um,
Mhm.
I know like when I went to Podcast Movement last year, the decision to go was proximity. It was in DC. It was a short trip for
Okay.
me from New York City. Something I do all the time: hop on the Amtrak or the bus, and in a couple hours I'm there. And then I have a lot of friends and family, so like that limited a lot of the cost for me in regards to that. Uh, but I think for me, it really is about who's going to be there. Um, what's the purpose of the event? And this is no knock. I'm not knocking like some of these shows, but like some of these events. But like, okay, like the podcast show, right? From what
Yeah.
I've heard and from what I've seen, that tends to be more like a company event. Unless I'm going there to talk to people like at companies and brands and stuff, I probably wouldn't go to that if my intentions were to go to do like to learn about like industry stuff, right? So I would have to look at what's the purpose of the event, the conference or whatever. Me being here in New York, there's a lot of events going on, so sometimes it's like which one do I really want to go to? Which one is more in alignment with what I'm trying to do, whatever it is I'm trying to do at that time. So for me, being the founder of the BPA, I'm always trying to go to events that I know other leaders, other people, decision makers and stuff are going to be at. So
Mhm.
I try to go to those types of events as much as possible so I can network and introduce myself or catch up with people and have those conversations. So um but pricing, travel, cost, because sometimes it's like, is it worth it? Now, Michelle will come on here and give me a whole lecture about it, but uh I'm cheap. I'm super real cheap.
Oh, have
Just like
mercy. Yeah.
but I think at the end of the day for me it's like what's the purpose of it and what are my goals when I go there?
Yeah.
When I go to these events, what am I trying to achieve? What am I trying to accomplish? And then one of the other things too I do, like here in New York, if there's multiple events happening, I will try to limit, like, say I'm gonna spend 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes there, or whatever, however, the time works. Um, Especially like when stuff like on air fest happens in New York where there's so many, or like podcast movement where there's gonna be so many different things happening. You gotta try to figure out like how to manage your time. But at the end of the day, DD, for me, it's about what's the purpose? Why am I going there? And like for me, Resonate Air is a sponsor. So I sit on a board, so I go. And I personally too, I mean, I like the festival, but it's also opportunity for me to catch up with some people who I probably will only see during that time period. So this is a little bit more fun. Resonates a little bit more fun for me than it is business.
I think so. Resonate 1, so living in Durham, Richmond is only 2.5 hours. So proximity was also a part of my decision making when Resonate first hit. 2 was also the ticket price. It was like 75 bucks. I was like, yeah, that's under $100. That felt like a easy purchase. And the first year, nobody really knew what to expect, so the demand wasn't there. So I still got mine relatively early, but I didn't feel like the pressure to go.
Yeah.
They've increased ticket price. Yes, we're not gonna go there. Anyways, but, like, so the first year, I was like, "Let me see what's going on." And one interesting thing about Resonate that is distinctly different from, like, podcast movement, for example, is Resonate is also made in partnership with, like, the local or, like, state NPR affiliate. So there's a lot of, like, NPR folks, like, true audio professionals there that, like, work in audio at NPR and, like, Audible and places like that, that attend, um, Resonate versus, like, on air, it's people with, like, huge shows, people at Bloomberg, people at Pushkin Audio, like, that definitely is more of, like, an industry audio event, like, really big, audio companies go to on air, not really the chat just, like, disappeared from me. Holy crap.
That's still here.
That's crazy, I can't see it. It's literally nothing, that's crazy. But at on air, like, as an indie podcaster, I was like, "This doesn't feel relevant to me, like, at all." Like, we're talking about people with budgets, people who are, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, have a show that, like, came with a salary or something, like, that's not my experience as an indie podcaster. So that's one of the main reasons I haven't been back. Like, it was nice to, like, rub elbows, and if maybe I was, like, looking to pitch a show to, like, ESPN 30 for 30, Pushkin Audio, Radiotopia, Lemonada Media, like, if I was looking to pitch a show, that would be the great place to do it. But that also wasn't my goal either. It was kind of and, like, Netflix who even knew that Netflix had podcasts? But, like, they were there, like, it's, like, big industry audio branded podcast almost that go to on air. So I haven't been back to that one. But Resonate feels like it still has that, like, indie spirit
Well, it's a
type deal.
storyteller festival. It's for storytellers.
Correct.
So
Yeah, so it's very, very different from that. Okay, the chat is coming back a little bit.
yeah.
Um, but my first year, I went to a session, from a podcaster who was specifically talking about how they were building community with their Patreon. And attending that session and, like, hearing their language around it helped me form the language around what I wanted to do with my newsletter in terms of building community. And being able to articulate that helped me to land a grant/sponsor for Black History Month that next year for $5,000. So for me, it was like I put in $75 plus a hotel stay, and I got out 5,000. 1,000% I'm going back next year. Let me see what else they can teach me. Like,
Right.
so for stuff like that, like, it's a very clear return on investment, like, money went in, money came out. Like, that to me is awesome. Um, and I think, like, you don't have to think about it maybe that strictly, but I think getting content too, like the next year, last year, I did a blog recap and I got photos and I had a couple short form videos and that did really well, like introduced me to a lot of people and stuff like that. So I think like depending on what you want to get out of it, like content may not be enough, but for me, it was a part of like growing my newsletter community that I was able to start in large part because of Resonate. So for me, it was worth it. And there's a couple other festivals that I feel that way about. Like maybe you try them one time because it's economically feasible for you to try it. And you know some other people who are talking about it. Like if Corey is talking about it, Michelle's talking about it, other friends that you have in the industry are like, oh, I went last year, you'll love it. It was great. It allowed me to meet this, and this, and learn this and this. Like, or I had a really good time and I learned a lot. Like that to me is something that's important. Because there's also festivals where people will be like, on the table, like, yeah, don't go, friend. Like, don't waste your money, don't waste your time. So I think that's something to take into account. Like ask people that have been, get real feedback from folks, and know what you want to get out of it, you know? Um, so there's that.
Yeah, there was a part of the comment that you missed from Didi, where she said it's all starting to seem like the same thing to her after a while, like all the different, like all these different festivals, and that is a real
Mm,
issue. That is a real issue. Um, I almost want to say like going to all these different events and going to these meetups that I go to and these different in person events. It's almost kind of like you're dealing with people. I'm going to say from the podcasting space, you're dealing with people in audio, right?
mm,
Audio, especially like editing, like when you're recording interview, it's kind of like regimented. So I kind of feel like sometimes a lot of these events and stuff that we do or we go to are it's a little bit of laziness put into it. Not to put, a
Okay.
little bit of laziness because you just keep doing the same thing over and over because it works. Um, which is like when I do my summer social every year, I'm trying to figure like, what are we going to do differently this year? How can we have fun doing this instead of it being the same old typical podcast meetup event, right? And we kind of like
Mm.
last year we did, this year we did ping pong, last year we did karaoke. So next year I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do a different experience. But um and I say this too because when I do my event, I definitely forget to record. Like this year, I didn't get a chance to record any. I barely got any footage in. But the mistake I made was, and it's something I told a friend to do it. The mistake I made was I should have set up like a Google Drive with a QR code or some kind of form, like a Notion form or something, where people could have just filled it out and just uploaded whatever they record, so I could have a record. Because one of the
Mhm.
hardest things you could do, especially if you are the event coordinator or whatever, you're the host. One of the hardest things to do is to get people to send you whatever pictures and footage they took after the fact. I've been
Yeah.
sent out
Yeah.
I sent out several emails. Hey guys, can you send me? Here's a link to my Google Drive. Just upload it. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
So um, so I'm like, how do I streamline this process if I'm in a situation outside of just asking somebody to do it for me? Especially somebody on the team, because what wound up happening is they get busy, so they forget. But if you want to get other people that are maybe attending your event to upload, try to figure out how to incentivize it, make it a little bit fun, and make it easy as possible for them to do. So what does they a
Yeah.
simple here's a Google form with an upload portion, right? Send your
Yeah.
footage here. Maybe do a raffle if they upload it. I don't know. Like I don't know how but I can tell you this for a fact. Doing this, going into my fifth year of doing this, the hardest thing is to get people to send you the footage that they take after the fact. They
Yeah.
have it because you see them while you're walking around. It's just getting them to send it to you or upload it is that it's hard. So like I think trying to do it, which reminds me back in the days when they used to take the portable cameras. You go to a wedding and they would put the cameras on the table and have people take pictures because
Yeah.
that was hard. It was hard to get pictures from people. So
Yeah.
um, that is definitely something to think about and consider if you are the one doing the event or you're participating in the event. Is having like some kind of streamlined situation where the people who are that are taking footage of you can actually upload or send it to you in the quick, easiest ways possible that they can do right there on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think we planned anything like that for our meetup on Friday, but
I threw it out there, and if I have some time tomorrow or Thursday, I'm gonna probably set that up and do it.
okay. Okay. That'll be what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen other people too, like, again, it ain't even gotta be for YouTube, like WNBA watch parties. They'll be like, just grab people during halftime at the game, being like, hey, why'd you decide to come out tonight? Who are you rooting for? Whatever. So I think, like, sometimes it's like we be asking too much of folks. Like, sometimes it's just, like, good to have a plan of how to get, like, some in-person testimonials and go from there. But I love a good disposable camera moment, so I'm open to whatever.
I have a question for you, because
Yeah.
you tend to do this more than I have. Now I know when I consult and I talk to people about podcasts about them having a release form. When you're doing those kind of things, do you have a release form? Do you deal with that, or is it just they're giving you the content on good faith?
What do you mean? Like, if I'm at an event
Yeah, like
and
if
people
I stop somebody and I'm interviewing them, do you have them do a release so
I
that you can
don't
use
I
their
think
content?
no, I just am transparent about where the footage and video stuff may go, because verbal consent is also, like, legally binding for something like that. And then number 2, sometimes you may not use it. So people might be, like, expecting, and so I always just say, "Hey, we're just getting some footage, we'll see what makes the cut, but, like, this is what we're doing. If we do end up using it, this is where it'll end up. This is where you can find photo and video, once it's done." So I just try to be as transparent as I possibly can about that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about the legalities of stuff. So I was
No,
wondering if
that's
that's
fair, and I thought about that too, like, but a lot of it, as long as you get some kind of verbal consents, they acknowledge, like and that go actually goes back to the GoPro, because like, if I have it on my chest, like, are people just gonna assume that I'm recording them even when I'm not? And
We'll
then,
get you the
like,
police.
"Yo, chill." And then if I am recording and obviously we're having more of a private conversation, like, should I tell them? Like, I would think yes. Like, I would think if someone's talking to me in confidence and I think it's good for the video that I would like and I wanna use it for the video, I would tell them like, "Hey, hey, I caught you on camera saying this. Like, are you okay with me leaving it in the video?" So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure this out because I wanna be transparent with people, obviously, but
Right.
no. Yeah, make people feel like it's a gotcha cam because it's not that at all. It's more of a behind the scenes cam. So, yeah.
Yeah, I make a lot of jokes in reference to police because I watch a lot of that kind of footage on YouTube late at night when I can't sleep, and you'd be
Why is that
surprised how
so
much they capture on the camera. It's crazy, but
why is that
I
soothing material for you when you're trying to sleep?
you're asking somebody who has who's neurodivergent why they do something because they just go down a rabbit hole because for some weird reason I want to watch these things. I don't know. Um, what I what I what I would say though, because the legalities portion of it is, I would say though, if you do get footage and somebody does tell you like they don't want you to use it or whatever, you should respect that and definitely,
Correct. Yeah.
even though you may have a right to, you should, and I think as creators, we also have to we have to think about these things sometimes of like, when should we respect the request of somebody that might be in some footage, and when is it like the journalistic or that side come supersede that, and that's always a weird space. But you don't want to be known as an a-hole when you're recording footage, especially at like conferences and stuff, especially amongst your industry peers, because then nobody's
Yeah.
going to want to talk to you.
But I think part of it too is like even when I was a freelancer, you know, when I would do like paid client work for people, I would put it in the contract like, "Hey, I have the right to use this for marketing purposes." And I would still have people come back and be like, mostly women, they'd be like, "Oh, I don't like how my body looked, I just wanted to document my family or my wedding or whatever." And I would honor it. I wouldn't like it, but I would honor it because I understand some people just like they may not like how they look, or they just for whatever reason don't want that out there. So like fine, respect that 1,000%. And I think that for me carries over into this. It's like, yeah, I may think it's freaking hilarious that Corey just cussed and called somebody a grifter, but if Corey doesn't want it on there, I gotta honor and respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like it just is what it is. That was for us. We enjoyed it in
Now
the moment.
you gotta make sure you get the angle where I put my hand on their shoulder like Bane. That's you gotta just make sure you get that angle when I say it.
Oh yeah, you gotta respect it. It's cool. Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
discernment gets better too as you go along. And sometimes people will sit with stuff, like maybe initially they'll have a hard reaction and then like they'll come back later and be like, "What is that like minute 5 of a 7-minute video? It ain't that big a deal. Like most people not gonna see it. Like you can post it, you know?" So like give people time to like think it over too.
Well, I hope you're gonna GoPro our meetup. Just
I
not when
am.
I'm just don't just cut me out the shots, cause
I'm not. I'm not.
hey, we might turn it into a series. How many shots
Yeah.
Corey had tonight?
Lord have mercy. How many times you say grifter? Oh, by the way, we're working did you approve of our name for our collective?
You know what? I saw the text. I was in the middle of something. I saw the text and I was like, one, I was like, I can't stand y'all because I kind of felt like it was a dig at me. But when you explained it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So yes, I'll publicly say yes. I'll give you my approval. You have my blessing.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because so for people who don't know, Corey, Michelle, and I, we're working on, we've been doing this for a little minute. We want to make it a little more official. We want to do even more virtually. We feel like there's a lot more that we can curate for y'all. And we want to create a name for our little collective. Um, because we're going to be repurposing the audio and maybe repurposing the video and doing some more stuff like that. So excited for that to come to pass. Um, and I think, we came up with a name for it that honors the whimsical fun times that we expect to have together. So that name will be revealed, I think maybe next month, like as we start talking more about, what's coming in 2026. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the newsletter so you'll be the first to know?
You
Yeah.
know, it's interesting. You know, I'm excited for what 2026 is going to bring. It's crazy that we're in November now, and it's
Yeah.
November 4th. Like yesterday, November. Like it feels like yesterday, November started, and now we're already next week. We're going to be in the middle of the month. It's kind of bugging me out. So just
Yeah.
to let you know, 2026 is right on our heels.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm excited for like a lot of these projects that I've seen you, Michelle, myself, and then all little personal projects that we're working on as well. Um, we're talking about events. Are there any target events for you next year that you like? I definitely want to be at this one to get content at.
Mm.
You plan on
Oh,
speaking at any too as well, or is it just more like
I don't
as a
know.
participant?
Um, I think I don't know. I think I want to volunteer at Creative South, which is in Columbus, Georgia, like my hometown. I want to volunteer there and get content there. I think that's a very interesting kind of like I think it's like the resonate of the design world. Like it's a
Okay.
purposely smaller event that a lot of designers, illustrators, like web designers type people go to. And it's like their little cult following. So like how Resonate is for like the audio pro like podcasting storytelling folks. This is for like the designers because it gets sold out every year. It's like a very similar situation. So I want to go to that. Um, I want to go to Black Writers Weekend. I kind of want to speak, but I don't know if I'm like what they think of when they think of like a writer. Like a newsletter writer is very can be, let me say this, can be, not always is, different from an author. But the flip side is that a lot of authors who are trying to pitch to like publishing houses or whatever, a lot of publishing houses look at the size of your newsletter because they know that that is a determining factor in how well a book is going to sell. So I kind of want to talk about newsletter writing at Black Writers Weekend, but we'll see if I have the courage because that will actually be the first. Like, so when I spoke at Podcast Movement Evolution Chicago, I talked about creating a newsletter as it relates to podcasting, not necessarily about newsletter as storytelling, newsletter as thought leadership, newsletter as a pipeline for selling. That is a very different thing. So I feel slightly insecure about that, but like why? I don't know. I write every week. I shouldn't. I am a writer, but we'll see. That's
Just
like a
do
maybe.
it. Just do
Hi,
it. I don't want. I
Corey.
don't. I don't want to hear the excuses. Just do it. And if you do have questions, reach out to Walt. Walt. I think Walt works with them every
He
year.
does.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So but yeah, I think you should do it. It's Black Writers Weekend. It's not Black Authors Weekend.
correct. That's that. Yeah,
So,
you're making
so,
points right now. You're making
so
points.
if they
Okay.
if they if they try to push back, just be like, you said it's Black Writers Weekend, not Black
Yeah.
Authors Weekend. So, and you
Yeah.
are author. You're author of your newsletter. So, you want
Okay.
if you ever want to get technical, you want somebody to help you with the technicalities, you just reach out to me because I do it all the time. Oh. I get accused of semantics all the time, but
No, I respect it. I appreciate that. No, that's real. Yeah. No, I'll apply. I'm be like, they'd be like, why do you think you should be a speaker? Corey said I should apply, so that was why
Mhm,
I think
mhm.
I should do
I think that's a very valid reason.
it.
I mean, at the end of like at the end of the day, they say no, or you don't get accepted. Okay,
Yeah.
but what I would say that would be some great content to write it for in your newsletter. There
Okay.
we go. There we go. So even if you don't do it there, you have a platform to do it in.
Yeah. Yeah,
For
for
me,
sure.
I don't plan on going to any next year. Maybe just resonate, but
Okay.
I'm working on my own. So
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
working on
yeah,
my
the summer
own.
social. Okay.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to be the summer social anymore. We might be rebranding in our fifth year. We're trying to do bigger and better things in 2027, and the
Yeah.
2026 year might be the lead up to 2027. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
working
yeah.
on it. So
Okay.
yeah, it's time. It's time. So
I'm excited. I seen the documents. I seen what y'all trying to do, so I think it's gonna be good no matter what it is, no matter when it is,
I know
all
because I'm
that.
doing it. I'm doing yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing it. What you mean it's gonna
Yeah.
be of course. We listen, I'm not gonna do it if it's not gonna be good. Like
Yeah.
that's one of my criteria. Like I will like anybody who's ever come to the summer social or heard me promote the summer social, I'll tell people on top, I'll cancel it. You know, if it's gonna
Mhm.
come out, it's gonna be subpar and we don't get a strong enough turnout, I'll just cancel it. Like I don't have a problem doing
Mm.
that. Like
Yeah.
because I you know, and 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 I think this also applies to the, like you when you even though we're saying like just go and press record and think your footage, you know, I think there needs to be some kind of quality control on that too. Like who you ask to take footage, right? You
Yeah.
definitely don't want somebody whose hand is like this, right? Um, you want to make sure somebody gets the right angles. You know, if they don't know what to record, make sure they record the whole thing. But for me, it's about the standard, right? It's about the quality. And we're trying to build this. We're trying to build something with the BPA where it was the standards up here.
Yeah.
So if it means if it means I have to pivot, if it means I have to cancel, it means I don't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
And
fair, and I appreciate that quality control, like but I also think on the other half of that, like, that's been me with, like, YouTube videos, like, if I think something or any video, like, if I think it's not "perfect," quote, unquote, or great, then I won't put it out, but, like, that doesn't always work when you're, like, trying to, like, get the reps in of making something good, like
yeah.
so, yeah, I gotta, like, talk myself down off the ledge, but it's whatever, whatever. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this weekend. I'm gonna like you know, and we have a ton of witnesses that Corey said he's going to actually make an effort to try to
Yes,
record footage. And you guys, when you come back next week, you guys have a right to ask me and say, "Hey, Corey, did you get any footage? Or if you check my socials and you don't see anything up, then you know I dropped the ball."
Lord
And
have mercy.
you have a right to come in the comment section and call me out for it because I'm gonna really
Yeah,
make a hard. I'm gonna make a. I think this weekend I shouldn't have no excuse because I'm coming more as a participant
mhm,
versus somebody that's actually involved in it or working or speaking at it.
yeah.
Um, so we'll see. But I'll be having too much fun with everybody too. That's part of the problem.
That's a good thing, that's a good thing. Yeah,
So we'll see. But it's
alright.
definitely gonna be footage of me out there somewhere with somebody if I'm not
Mhm.
getting it.
The GoPro has you covered, my friend. The GoPro has you covered.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, Dee thank you. We appreciate you, and thank all 58 of you for hanging out with us tonight. We really
I didn't even look at
appreciate
the
it.
numbers.
Yeah, we're doing it's awesome. I love that you guys come hang out with us every Tuesday, so keep sharing with your friends. We're trying to get to 100 folks in this room by the end of the year. So help us make that happen. Keep sharing it if you're enjoying it. We appreciate you. And if you have questions or topics you want us to cover in a future live stream, let us know. We do take note. This was actually a recommendation from Coach Ty, I think. Coach Ty asked us
Yeah, I didn't
about
see
this.
her in the chat tonight.
She probably prepping for Resonate. That's what we all should be doing. So yeah. So yeah. We've been at this for an hour. I think we can wrap up. You're cool with that, Corey?
Yeah, I gotta go pack my bag and stuff and get ready for this weekend. So
All right. All right. Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out. Again, I write Please Hustle Responsibly. Michelle writes Creators Getting Paid. And Corey is the author and like lead editor of Black Pod News. That's BLK Pod News here on Substack. Thank you guys.
all right,
Thank
everybody,
you,
have a good
Dee.
night.